Everybody, give a loud, welcoming applause for Steve Gallo.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Steve. Hi. All right, let's keep it going for all the opening act comedians tonight. William Beck, Kristen Pinley, Jeffy was working the door, Fernando working the cameras, and of course the one and only D Hall for hosting. So, you guys like my Ajuma hair? I went to the hairstylist recently, and he was like, "Yo, dude, every middle-aged woman in Korea wants your hair." And I was like, "Oh, thank you. I don't even need a permit, it's just natural, right?" Yeah, but sometimes people have said that I have a Jew-fro. People say that, and I'm like, "Hey man, that's anti-Semitic. That's not cool, right?" Because anti-Semitism's on the rise. And it's gotten so bad, especially in the United States, that Arnold Schwarzenegger made a video to talk about it. He wanted to tell everybody how bad anti-Semitism is. So in this video, Arnold Schwarzenegger talks about when he visited Auschwitz, the deadliest concentration camp in World War II. And when Arnold Schwarzenegger went into the gas chambers in Auschwitz, he talks about how he felt. He's like, "When I went in there are the fingernail scratches on the walls. And when I felt the scratches on the walls, the feeling was heavier than the heaviest squat I've ever done." Insightful, right? I feel like I get it, Arnold. Like, I know he's trying, but I don't know if Auschwitz is a good time to talk about weightlifting, right? But also, is that just how he relates to things? Like, is that just how Arnold expresses his feelings? Like, if he has a minor inconvenience, right? Like, he's about to go on a road trip, and he gets in the car, everything's packed, and then he sees that, like, the gas is almost empty. Is he just like, basically the same. So when he went into the gas chambers in Auschwitz, right, like, they're giving him the tour. He was like, I'm sure he was a VIP. He's Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? Like, he goes in there, he's like, and they tell him, like, "Yeah, these are the fingernail scratches," and he's like, yeah, just like that. That's exactly how that is. Did you guys see that Arnold has a docuseries on Netflix now? What? About him? It's called Arnold. You probably didn't guess that. It starts with him sitting in a hot tub smoking a cigar and, like, looking out at the snowy mountains. Just so you have a taste. That's what it's about. But also, like, I feel like a lot of celebrities are doing Netflix docuseries now. Arnold's not the only one. Another recent example was Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Did you guys watch that one? It was called Harry and Meghan. These titles are really captivating. So Harry and Meghan, you guys, like, if you don't know about, like, their whole thing, they feel victimized by, like, being, I don't know, famous for being in the royal family. So their whole thing is they're like, we want out of the spotlight. We want everyone to leave us alone. So we're gonna sign a deal to do a Netflix docuseries to stay in the spotlight and talk about how we don't want to be in the spotlight. Right? And, like, part of their problem that they have is that they feel like the royal family rejected Meghan Markle because she's black, right? Like they're like, yeah, like we experienced racism. I'm like, yeah, fair. It is the royal family. That's kind of directly connected to racism. So it makes sense. But then also a big part of the docuseries is that like they're trying to show like how great of a couple they are, how lovely they are. They want everyone to like them, basically. So they show like a ton of like personal cell phone footage to like show like behind the scenes. This is what they're really like, right? And all I wanted when I watched that docuseries was to see like a covert video of Harry like just filming the Queen. And I wanted her to just be like, I wanted it to just be like a video like that, and she's just like, who said you could let black people in this house? And Harry's just like, I'm being reasonable. Like, I wanted that so bad. Just for the hard proof. But no, all I got was just like Harry like going in the ocean, and Meghan's like, oh, there's H. He's taking a dip in the ocean. She calls him H. Very gross. They call each other H&M. And a lot of people give the same reaction that you guys just did, because it's corny as shit. But, I mean, people give them shit for that nickname, but, hear me out. I think it's a good nickname. I think it's a good nickname because, you know, it's H&M, right? So it's good because, like H&M, they're cheap, unoriginal, and they've profited off of black and brown people. So that's why it fits. Yeah, Harry and Meghan. Oh, Harry and Meghan. But yeah, guys, I live in Seoul, obviously. Most of the crowd knows that because I work with them. But I go to the Seoul Library a lot. I do that pretty regularly because I like to read books. And they have a really good book like collection there, especially in English, better than you might think. But one time, I went in there and I found a joke book. And it was hilarious. Not for the reasons that it thinks it is. So it was called The Ultimate Book of Jokes, the essential collection of over 1,500 jokes. And like, I didn't read all 1,500, but all of the ones that I read sucked. Like they're all terrible. So I'm gonna share my favorite joke from that book with you right now. Like the worst one. Just remember, it's terrible. I don't like it. I don't like it for reasons that you normally like jokes. I like it because it's awful. Okay, so here it is. Two brothers were opening presents on Christmas morning. The younger brother opened 12 presents, and the older brother opened only one. Feeling superior, the younger brother taunted the older brother. Ha ha, I got 12 presents, and you only got one. The older brother replied, ha ha, you have a brain tumor. I said it was bad. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't think it makes sense. Because there's nothing in the joke that sets up you have a brain tumor as a punchline. It's completely out of nowhere. There's nothing that does that. And like, why does the older brother know that the younger brother has a brain tumor and the younger brother doesn't know that? Right? Like, he went and got this brain scan and like didn't know why that was happening? I don't know. But anyway, there is, like I said, there's nothing in the joke that's setting it up as a punchline. Totally out of nowhere. So, you could take that punchline, you have a brain tumor, and you could put it into any joke, and it would be the same thing. So, I'm gonna do that right now. All right, here it goes. Let it rip. Okay, so I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. Many of you know that. In the United States, it's very close to Canada. It's across Lake Erie, which is one of the Great Lakes. It's a big lake. Across the lake to Canada is 100 kilometers, 60 miles. So it's close to Canada. So I've been told by some Canadian people that with my accent, people could think that I'm from Canada, like the very southern part of Ontario, if you know the city Windsor, like somewhere like that. So like people could think I'm Canadian, right? So one time I was in Toronto and I was trying to buy beer at the grocery store. I put it in front of the cashier, I was at the cash register. Cashier's like, "You can't buy this beer." And I was like, "What? Why not?" And she's like, "What, like you don't know?" Right? Like she probably like thinks I'm Canadian, like I should know why not or something. She's like, "What do you think?" And I'm like, "Why can't I buy this?" And she's like, "In the province of Ontario, you cannot buy beer after 6 p.m. on Sunday. It's after 6 p.m. on Sunday. You can't buy this beer." And I was like, "Well, you have a brain tumor." Same thing, right? Not different at all. The exact same joke. The funny thing about this joke book at the library is that it's in perfect condition. I'm the only idiot who's ever checked it out. Like it's crisp, it's nice. But, you guys, popularity does not always correlate to quantity, or quality, I should say. My mistake. In this case, it does, though, right? Because that book sucks. It shouldn't be popular. But, you know, just because something's popular does not always mean it's good. One example that I will lay out for you is the MBTI. We know the MBTI, I think, right? In case you do not know the MBTI is a personality test. You take the test, it assigns you a personality type based on a 4-letter combination, right? Here's the thing, though. The MBTI is not based on science. It's a common misconception. People think it is. It was just taken from ideas that Carl Jung had, never tested them or anything like that. It was just a mother and a daughter who were not involved in psychology at all. They saw these ideas that he was just like, oh, maybe people act like this. They took it, they made a test out of it, they sold it. That's it. No experiments, nothing. No science. But despite this fact, it's very popular in Korea, right? And have you guys ever used it to like, as part of getting hired for a job? Nobody has? I have. In the past, I had to take the MBTI once when I was applying for a job. People do this, right? So like, really what's happening is people are getting hired at companies based on a test that has as much science behind it as a BuzzFeed quiz. Right? Like, people are getting hired based off of what Disney princess they are. So like, you go to a job interview and they're like, oh, well, the test says that you're an Ariel. Oh, but you are a black Ariel. And Korea and Fox News say that that's not acceptable. I guess in Korea the idea is she's not like the original. Okay. I think that just means she's black. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So, so anyway, like I said, this test is very popular in Korea, right? People put it like in their Instagram profiles, so like, I'm INFJ, right? People really care about it. And I think I know why it's really popular in Korea. It's because it takes the form of a test. Because they love tests in Korea, right? Like Korean society has tests for like every level, right? They love tests in Korea like they love guns in America. They're both the leading cause of death for young people. That one took a second. These are not things that are good for our societies. Yeah, so anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is don't say that I have a Jew-fro. It's anti-Semitic. All right, you guys have been great. I'm Steve Gallis. Thank you all for coming. Have a great night.
All right, let's keep going for Steve Gallo, second one.